further discuss this now with Robert Jacobs. He's a professor at the Hiroshima Peace Institute and a historian of nuclear and radiation technologies. He joins us live now from Hiroshima. Professor, it's a pleasure to have you on the program. Now, there is increasing concern from regional countries about the safety of this nuclear water being disposed into the ocean. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's not catastrophic, but it's not safe. It's not going to end up in lots of people getting sick today or tomorrow or the next day, but releasing radioactive material into the ecosystem is always a bad idea and always has negative effects.
So what would the long-term effects of the act of disposing this radioactive waste into the ocean be? Because tritium is what scientists are worried about here.
According to TEPCO's own documents, there's still lots of other radioactive particles in various tanks. So it's not only tritium, it's primarily tritium, but it's not only tritium. And tritium will never be, tritium is a form of hydrogen, so it cannot be separated from water. So there's nothing that can be done about that. But these other radioactive particles, along with tritium, these are all going to enter into the ecosystem. And once they enter into the ecosystem, they embed into the ecosystem. They become a part of it. They become a part of the food chain. They become a part of the dynamics of the movement of water. They get moved around to all kinds of places. So these are now all these particles during the period of time that they are dangerous because they decay slowly. During that period of time, they will migrate through the ecosystem, going from plant to animal to water, and wherever they are, there will be harm done. It's just that it'll be widely dispersed and it won't be noticed.
Right, and eventually it would transfer to humans, wouldn't it? What would the effects on the human population be in the long run, a decade from now, for example?
Well, it depends entirely on the radioactive particle because they decay at different rates and have different levels of energy. But humans that internalize these particles, we're apex predators, so things tend to end up in our bodies because when they're in the ecosystem. If we internalize those particles and a particle remains in our body, which is possible anytime we eat these things or drink these things, those particles may lodge in our body and slowly damage the cells around them wherever they lodge, in which case they often have spark disease. This is very similar to radioactive fallout from nuclear weapon tests. It's widely distributed. You can't exactly say this particle harmed that person, but it spreads out into the ecosystem and enters into people's bodies and, often can cause disease.
Very interesting. Professor Robert Jacobs, thank you so much for being with us here on the NewsHour. We appreciate it.